everybody. I am just going to hang out while some people jump on. Hello, Fallon. Hi, Chastity. Hey, Steph. I washed my face and took my glasses out, took my contacts out, and didn't even think about coming on here. I should have left my contacts in because I can see like my reflection a million times. Hi, Jenna. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Jenna. All right, I'm just gonna wait for a few more people. Hey, Brittany. Because I announced this, I want to wait and give people a chance to get on. So I'm kind of excited to explain the compensation plan to you guys. I got quite a few texts from girls on my team yesterday when I was pushing for Orange, and there was some confusion with how the compensation plan works, I think. And I also got a couple texts this morning from girls that have girls in danger of going inactive. So I thought, and Betty thought, it would be a good idea to do a video on the compensation plan. That way you guys can kind of get a better understanding of what you're looking at when you're seeing that chart in your back office. So I'm just going to wait till we get to 2 minutes. Let's see where we're at. Oh, we're past 2 minutes. Okay, I'm going to get started. I'm talking kind of quiet. Sophia fell asleep and she's in the other room, and I'm hoping that she does not wake up. As I go along, if you have a question, you can post it in the comments as I'm going, and I will try to stop what I'm doing and answer. I think that will probably be the easiest way. Actually, why don't we wait? Why don't we hold all the questions till the end? And I'm going to go over everything, and then at the very end, if you have a question, you can post it in the comments. That way I don't get sidetracked, because you know I get sidetracked easily. So let's do that. I'm going to talk. If you have a comment or a question about something that I'm going over, jot it down in your notebook, and then at the end I'm going to give time for questions. That way I can make sure I cover everything. All right. Hey, everybody. Hey, Katie. Hey, Betty. Hey, Nicole. All right, you guys. So first things first. And for some of you guys, this might be very, very basic, and I apologize, but I want to make sure the girls that are new understand everything, okay? So first things first. When someone signs up, they are not yet a white status presenter, even though they get that charm in their kit. In order to be a white status presenter, yes, thank you, Betty. In order to be a white status presenter, you have to sell $125 in personal retail, okay? After that point, you're considered a white status presenter. You will not go down from white status. Once you sell $125, your white status, the only place you can go from there is up, okay? The next step in the comp plan is yellow status. To achieve yellow status, you have to sell $1,000 in PRS. So for those of you guys who don't know, when I say PRS, or if you see us type PRS, it's personal retail sales. So what that means is anything that you sell, anything that you purchase for yourself, or anything that you sell through a party, your person that's hosting the party for you, they're your host. You're still the presenter. So if you make a sale through a party, it's still your personal retail. If somebody contacts you through Facebook and you make a sale that way, that's still your personal retail, okay? So once you get to $1,000 in personal retail sales, or PRS, you're considered yellow status. So at white status and anything up to yellow status, you're making 20% commission on your own PRS. Once you hit yellow status, you get a pay raise, and you're now making 25% commission. Okay? Are we good so far? Invite your girls to the video. Yes, you guys, invite your girls to the video. Hey, Carrie. Okay, so that's white and yellow. Once you hit yellow, you're making 25% commission. Now, I also want to make sure you guys know that white status, yellow status, you never go back. Once you hit yellow status, you're a yellow status presenter. The only way you can go change from that is if you get higher. You can't go down. I think if you press that little person at the bottom, it's a person with a plus sign. Yes, and then you can tap on their names. And Carrie Sierra's already on here, but the other girls aren't. So, white status and yellow status, you never go back, okay? Pink status and higher resets every month. What that means is, if you're 98% to pink and the end of the month comes, on the first of the following month, it's going to start over. You start at 0% the beginning of the next month. Okay? In order to stay qualified or stay active, an active presenter, you have to sell $125 every 3 rolling months. Okay? So what that means, and Betty, if I say this wrong or I don't explain it right, please correct me. But what that means is your sales for January, February, and March have to be 125. Okay? And then for February, March, and April, it has to average out to 125. March, April, May has to average out to 125. So if you tell your presenters if they purchase or sell $42 a month, they will stay active. They'll never have to worry about going inactive. There's a lot of girls that do 125 every 3 months, but then they might do 125 and then it comes to the 3rd month and then they're going to have to place a 125 order or they're going to go inactive. So if you tell them $42 a month, it's a little less than 42, but if you say 42, then you're covered. Okay? All right, so now, should have taken my iPad out of the case. What I'm going to do is, bear with me here, I'm pulling this up on my computer. I want to show you guys the chart, okay? Let me flip this down. Okay. See if I can set this up. Hold on, you guys. See, I should have taken my case off of here. I'm going to try to get this set up so you can see. Oops. Okay, that works, right? Okay. So here's the 125 to hit white. There's the 1,000 to hit yellow. Okay, so for pink status, in order to qualify as a pink status presenter, you have to have $250 in personal retail sales. So that means you personally have to sell or buy $250 for that month. Your company, which at this point is every single person in your downline. Okay? So every single person on your team that's underneath you counts towards your company wholesales at this point. You have to have $2,000 in company wholesales. Company wholesales is your personal retail, okay? I shouldn't say personal retail. It's your retail minus your commission. So at the end of the month, when you're seeing that chart, when you click on that chart and it says you still have $600 to achieve pink status, you have to take the $600 and you have to add 25%, because the number that you see here is minus your retail. But it's not going to show up on there. It's going to just show your whole sales. So you always have to add the 25%, which if anybody gets to that point and they're confused and they need help, Betty or I or your sponsor will be more than happy to help you. You also have to have one qualified leg on your first level. So one qualified first level presenter. You guys can't see that, but what that means is one presenter that is sold 125 that month. That they have to sell 125 personally to be considered a qualified leg. Okay, so once you hit pink status, you are going to earn 25% on your own sales. You know that, yellow and pink, you make 25% on your own personal sales. You're going to earn 3% off of your company. And like we said, the company is every single person that's underneath you. Okay? In order to get paid off of the people under you, you have to be pink status. If you're yellow and you have 4 girls under you and they are kicking butt and selling like crazy, but you don't have your 250, you're not pink status and you don't get paid anything off of your team. Okay. Also, another thing I want you guys to know is if you hit pink status, your website is going to say you're a pink status presenter. Okay? It's never going to change on your website. However, each month it's going to reset. So your paid as status is what you're being paid as that month. Your status is what you're recognized as in the company. So if you hear us say your paid as status, that means that's what you were paid at for that particular month. Okay? So next after pink is blue. And in order to get blue, you still have to have just the 250 in PRS. This time you have to have $4,000 in your company. So everybody under you, all together, including your own sales, has to be $4,000. So then you have to have 2 first levels. So 2 girls that are reaching 125. I don't know why my iPad, I think because I'm moving, it keeps blurring out, so I'm sorry. But 2 girls under you that have 125 in sales each. So 125 plus 125 is 3, what is that? 250. 125 plus 125 is 250. So let's say you have 250 and those 2 girls have 250. So that's $500. You have to have 4,000 altogether. So the rest of that could come from you. As long as you have 2 girls under you that are each 125 qualified, that other $3,500 could all be yours. If that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, once you're at blue, you're going to make 25% still on your own personal retail, and this time you're going to get 4% from your company. So you can see the difference. If you've got girls under you, you know, that are $4,000 in company sales, you can see you're making double, plus you're making an extra percent off of that. So that extra percent might not sound like a lot, but it does make a difference. The pay between pink and blue, it is a big jump. So after blue, you're going to get to green status, and you've heard us say it's the sweet spot in the company, and it really is, because it's the first, you see it's an elite presenter, it's the first rank where you're really recognized as a leader within the company. And the qualifications are a little bit harder for green status. So personally, you have to sell $500. Your team has to do $10,000 in company sales. You have to have 3 qualified first level presenters. If I didn't explain that, that would have to be somebody directly under you. So somebody that you signed up or someone that rolled up to you. Rolled up meaning they were sponsored by someone else and their sponsor went inactive, then they would roll up to you. So 3 people directly under you have to be qualified. And then you have to have $2,000 in circle wholesales. Now here's where it kind of gets tricky. So your company is everyone under you except for anyone that's elite. Okay? The team that's elite is now considered your circle. So let's say Stephanie and I, for example, I now make a different commission off of Stephanie's team than I make off of the rest of my team. Okay? So for commission at green status, you have 30% now. You were getting 25 for blue. Now you're making an extra 5% on your own PRS, which is huge. That's why it's really important to still sell. I know that you only have to have $500 when you're green status, but to me, I'm making an extra 5% off of my own sales. So to me, it's just silly not to continue to sell even when you're green or higher, because you're making so much off of your own personal retail. Plus, I enjoy it. Hopefully all of you do too. I can't see myself ever not selling. But technically you only have to do $500 yourself. So you're going to get 30% off of your own sales. And instead of 4% off of your circle, now you're going to get 5% off of your circle. Okay? And then you're also going to get 3% off of your first generation. What your first generation is an elite under you. Okay, so since Stephanie is directly under me, she was the first, well, she doesn't have to be directly under me, but since she is the first person to turn green on that team, she's considered my first generation. Okay, so let me say it like this. I'm directly under Betty. Betty is my sponsor. I turned green, which made me Betty's first generation elite. Okay? Stephanie turned green, and Stephanie is under me. So Stephanie is Betty's second generation elite. And you can see here at orange, you get paid, if you have a second generation elite, you're getting 4% off of them, which is one thing that I love about our compensation plan. You can look here and see Betty is orange, right? So she gets 30% on her own. She gets 5% from her circle, which her circle is everyone except for my team, because I'm an elite, so I fall out. I don't count, okay? Then she gets 3% from her first generation, that's my team, and she gets 4% off of her second generation. So Stephanie's now her second generation. So she's making more off of Stephanie's team than she is off of my team. So what does that mean? When you're new and it doesn't really like click to you, but what that forces you to do is to work with girls. Not forces you, because if you're a good leader, you want to do this anyways, but a lot of leaders don't do this. It makes it so that you want to pay attention to the girls that are levels down, because you're making more money off of them than you are the girls directly under you. So when they say our mission is to uplift, empower, and validate, that's exactly what this compensation plan does. It makes it so that you have to build leaders within your organization or you can't advance, okay? In order to go, I'm not going to get into purple and black too much because I feel like green and down is where we need to focus for right now. But I do want to point this out. In order to go purple, okay, because a lot of people were saying, oh, yay, you turn orange, that makes Betty purple. Most direct sales, that's how it works. if someone underneath you does well, you do well and you keep advancing, right? With Unique, it's not that way. Our goal as a leader is to build other leaders in our organization. So we want to build elites. So Betty's orange, and she has one first generation elite. That's me. Stephanie's green, but she's not Betty's first generation, remember? Because I was already green. She needs 2 first generation elites to turn purple. So she doesn't need an orange. That doesn't matter. Even though I turned orange, that does not turn Betty purple. Because Unique wants us to build leaders, multiple leaders. If they just wanted you to build one leader, then Betty would be purple because I turned orange. But that's not the plan. The plan is to build multiple leaders in your organization. So she needs another leader, another elite green status from some other team other than mine. Okay? So it can't be anybody on my team. It has to come from what they call it legs, which I don't know why they call it legs, but it has to come from a different branch, let's say. Can't come from me or anybody on my team. And then you see, to be black, you have to have 4. So it just kind of, it doubles. From green on up, it doubles the qualifications. I'm not going to go into what you get paid for all that. You guys can look, but I want to make sure that you're understanding what you need to do to get paid at the different levels. I also want you to know that it doesn't have to be directly under you. Okay, so let's say Amanda Holman is one of Stephanie's girls. So let's say that Amanda Holman was amazing and she was kicking butt, and Stephanie was just kind of getting her $250 in personal retail sales, and I don't have a green yet, but I need one. So Amanda Holman gets $500 in her own personal retail sales. Her company is at $10,000, and she's got 3 first level qualified. So she's got everything met for green. She has the 2,000. She's green, right? But Stephanie should automatically be green too, right? Because she's above her. No, because Stephanie only has 250. So even though they're not directly under you, you may not have directly sponsored that person, they could still be your first generation elite. So when you are a leader, don't just focus on the girls that you personally sponsored. Focus on your whole team. If it's a girl that's 3 levels down and she's doing really well, or even if she's not doing really well, but she reaches out to you and wants your help, help her, because you never know where your leader's going to come from. So, okay. Does anybody have any questions? Or Betty, is there anything that I forgot? If you're green or higher, does it still restart every month? Yes. Yep, it restarts every month. So my company right now looks like a hot mess. It looks like I have like $500 and some in company sales right now. And I think I've got like $60 in personal retail right now. So it restarts every month. Does anybody else have a question? You're welcome, Jenna. And Betty answered your question, Alicia. Yes, your royalties get added on the 8th of the following month. So I think that your commission's posted somewhere around the 5th. Like you can see it in your back office, what you earned. I think it's around the 5th that you can see it in your back office what you earned commission-wise, but it doesn't show up on your card until the 8th. So what happens if you don't reach that? So let's say you reach pink in February. but you don't reach it in March. So your status as a unique presenter will still be pink, but your paid as status will fall back down to yellow. So you won't make money off of your girls. Did that make sense, Sierra? Oh, good, Brittany. I'm glad. You guys didn't know I was so smart, did ya? I actually went to a class on the Compensation Planet convention last year because it was overwhelming to me. And I would just say, Betty, just tell me what I need to know. What do I have to do this month? I don't even care. Building wide. Okay. So, it's really, really important to always, so you guys saw the company versus the circle. So when someone turns green, they drop out. So it's very important to always build your organization wide. What that means is you want a lot of people underneath you, directly underneath you. That's why we always say keep sponsoring, because when you get to like orange status, let's say, you have to have $20,000 in company sales. But once your green status person goes away, you still have to have those sales from the rest of your team. Does that make sense? I think you still have to have $4,000 from the rest of your team. So if you're not building wide, like all of your sales can't come from that green. You still have to have $4,000 coming from the rest of your team. So that's why we're always stressing sponsor, sponsor, sponsor. You always want to say sponsoring. And the people that are going to really be super important in your organization that you may not realize are the people that are hobbyists. Well, not even a hobbyist, the people that are doing it for their own discount. So I've got a ton of women on my team that just stay active. And that's wonderful. That's wonderful. You need those. You need a lot of people doing a little bit, and you need a little bit of people doing a lot. So you need a lot of girls directly under you who are just doing the 125 every 3 months. Think about that. If you've got 10 girls under you, they're buying $42 a month. That's $420 that you don't have to do, right? If you've got 20 girls under you only doing $42 a month, that's $840. That's going to count towards your company. You can't drop down a level, right? As far as your status on your website, you can't drop down. But your paid as status starts over every month. Morgan, not in status title, but you will be paid. Yeah, so let's say, I'm not going to jinx myself, but let's say Sally who was paid as pink status for the first time in January. Okay, so on the 8th of the month, her little charm on her website is going to change, and they're going to say Sally who, pink status presenter. All right, you guys, we're going in the other room because my iPad is dying. I got to plug it in. Sally who, pink status presenter. But in February, she has her 250. She's got her qualified person under her, but she only has, let's say, $1,800 in company sales as opposed to the $2,000 that you need. So she's only going to be paid as a yellow status presenter, which means she's not going to get any commission off of her team. Hold on a second. Uh-oh. I feel like Betty the other night with her light. Okay. Can you explain what happens if one of your girls goes inactive and how they can reactivate? Like, how long do they have and such? Okay, so if somebody goes inactive, they have 6 months to reactivate. And all they do is they just place an order of $125. Did that make sense, Nicole? Morgan, did that answer your question about dropping down a level? So essentially 9 months total. No. They go inactive if they don't maintain 125 for the 3 months, then they're inactive. From the time they go inactive, they have 6 months to reactivate. So I guess if you want to look at it that way, from the time they sign up. Tracy, if somebody goes inactive, do they have to wait 6 months to rejoin? Is that what you're asking? No, if somebody goes inactive and it's past 6 months, they could sign up on the next day after the 6 months, after the sixth month. Did that answer? So if they go inactive, let's say that I had a couple girls drop off in January. Okay, so February, March, April, May, June, July. They have till the end of July to reactivate by placing a $125 order. Any other questions? I'm going to scroll up and just make sure that I didn't miss any. Yeah, the 8th of the month, they put your commission on and your status changes, which is so exciting when you promote it. Like, I love when my status changed. That's so cool. Orange balloons, how cute is that? I came home, or I was in the kitchen cooking, and my husband came home with my son from basketball practice, and I'm like, where are they? Why is it taking so long? And they called Sophia in the other room, and then the kids brought me in. They've got me orange flowers, orange balloons, and orange Reese's cups. So they cannot buy anything for 5 months, but buy $125 today, and they are good to do it again for another 3 months. So they cannot buy anything for 5 months, but buy $125 today, and they are good to go again for another 3 months. Yeah, they are. Which, I don't like that, but that's just my opinion. Yes. So if a kidnapper doesn't signs up, doesn't sell anything for 3 months, she doesn't place a single order, she's going to go inactive. So she's not going to be on your back office anymore. You're not going to see her. Actually, I had this happen. So, and then they have 6 months from the time they go inactive till when they can re-enroll, it's called. Now, that being said, I've also had girls who used to sell and didn't have a great sponsor, and they've contacted me because they want to sell under me, but they have to be inactive for 6 months. So once they're inactive for 6 months, then they can sign up under a new sponsor. I don't know what Brandy Day means. Nicole, yeah, we're giving lessons on Saturday. You should drive up. your husbands will get it a little bit more as you go. Okay? Rob wasn't always this great in the beginning. But he's always supportive, but he would have texted me, "Good job, babe." And that, "Oh, that's okay, Brittany. I just thought maybe it was an autocorrect and you were trying to ask something." They'll get it. The further you go along and they start to see how you're changing as a person and how you're touching other people, because I always read the messages that I get and your paychecks, they'll start, he'll jump on board. Okay, good, Brittany. All right. Anybody else have questions? Or anything that doesn't make sense? No question is a dumb question. So if you have a question about anything to do with the comp plan, or if you're confused about something, just ask it so that you know. Now, do you guys see why it's so important to get to green status? And why we always say that that's the sweet spot in the company? And why that's kind of everybody's goal to get there, because you make an extra 5% off of your own retail. And then you're $10,000 in company sales. So if you can just imagine, you're making 5% of that. So it's pretty good. Pretty good. Can't wait. I know. Is everybody going to watch that tomorrow? I don't even remember what time, Allie. I think it was at noon? I was kind of surprised. I figured it would be in the evening, but I think it's sometime during the day. When a presenter account with Unique is suspended, that means that your presenter account is no longer active with Unique, but that you have the opportunity to reactivate your account by meeting the... Did you copy and paste this, Betty? Or did you just type all this? Holy cow. I gotta read this. But you have the opportunity to reactivate your account by meeting the 125 MPRS. Your account is automatically suspended when you do not receive a personal retail sales of at least 125 during the rolling 3-month period. The rolling period indicates that at the beginning of each new month, the earliest month in your rolling period would drop off. Okay. Okay. Okay, good. Need an orange emoji heart. I know, there isn't one. That's from Corvus. Okay. Oh, I thought two. It might be two. I'm not sure. Also, the importance of building wide. I hope you guys got the importance of that. You need, like I said, a lot of people doing a little bit if you want to promote. So if you want to promote to pink, you need to have a couple girls under you. If you want to promote to blue, you need to have even more. And if you want to promote to green, you need to have some girls under you that are working and some girls under you that are just getting the discount. I don't mean a kidnapper. Now that's another thing I want to just touch on, and that's not what this video is for, but when you sell the kit, it's okay to sell the kit, but I want you guys to kind of focus a little bit more on selling the opportunity as opposed to the kit.